There's no variance. So you can't win really. Not unless you've got stupid amounts of cash to throw down on shit tons of fucking stuff. You either need to spend years upon years upon years making it, or you need to employ a hell of a lot of staff in order to fucking man all the fucking modelling and the mapping that's required. Not to mention, by doing that and dragging it out, you're probably dragging out the story as well. I mean, to be fair, that's what it felt like in F.E.A.R 2. Even though the game, for me, was only about 8 or 9 hours, it felt like the first, 7 hours? 6.5 hours? Of story was just nigh on insignificant, really. Didn't play an awfully big part. He spent the vast majority, I spent pretty much most of set 1. You're dropping off crew members one by one, but nothing particularly. People are dying, but it's nothing particularly like. You've not exactly grown attached to the characters. Nothing's really happened with them. I guess if you played the first one, you would, because it was the same. This is what I didn't really mention an awful lot. Wasn't Stokes and that top guy and stuff like that? They were from the original F.E.A.R. One, wasn't there? There was that other team thing. I always have to mention that through the thing. That's a little bit criminal in me, is that. I should have been referencing F.E.A.R 1 really, but never mind. But like say you just picked up F.E.A.R 2, you'd have no attachment to him, and it doesn't particularly give you much attachment to him. Apart from Stokes. Stokes was pretty much even Keegan. Keegan, it's like you didn't even really notice him until like the end, and then he just starts to fuck off straight away. And it's like. A strange one, F.E.A.R 2. A strange one. Highly recommended that you play it. There's no fucking doubts there whatsoever, but, if you're short on cash, I don't know if I throw down 30 quid for it. I honestly do not. I'm not sure how much it costs now. But, I don't know if I throw down 30 quid for it. Not at the moment. I'd wait for it to drop in price. It probably has dropped in price now. I should have really fucking checked it before I started recording, but never mind. But, yeah, as a full price retail game, it's an expensive single shot. Because that's all you're going to do. I don't think you're going to play it through and then just go back to beginning and just carry on playing it again and stuff straight away. Not after like 6 hours you've done it, it's like, yeah, I'm going to play it again. I seriously doubt it. You're going to sit there going, what the fuck, it's done. So that would probably be my only gripe in F.E.A.R 2, its kind of length. And even in its short length, the story was kind of dragged out for half of it. So, that would be my only gripe, and that's really reading in quite deep, but at the same time, it's not reading in that deep. It's kind of like, it's evaluating the length and the quality of the game versus how. I always like to do this, because same when I review a lot of I'm not really reviewing it at the moment, but if you go to a review site for a game, I think I've said this before, it might have even been on the original F.E.A.R Htsf I was talking about this shit, where you go to a review site and they review it and say, oh yeah, this game is absolutely amazing, great this, great that, great this, but it's about 8 hours long, and then just skip over that then. It's because the reviewer's been given a copy for free. So the price versus the quality and how much you're going to play of the game, how much playtime you're going to get out of it, doesn't factor in for that reviewer, and so little reviewers actually fail to mention that and fail to realise that. It's like, it's okay for you, Mr. Reviewer, you completed this game in 8 or 9 hours, it cost you nothing, and it was great fun for you. I'm sure it was, and I'm sure it's great fun for a lot of other people as well, but at the same time, those other people are actually buying the game. And some people don't have an awful lot of money to be shelling out 30 quid on this, 30 quid on that, 30 quid. They don't have an infinite supply of cash, so don't have an infinite supply of games. And in that case, when someone like that buys a 30 quid game, they're probably going to expect more than about 6 to 8 hours out of the game before it gets shelved, because it makes an expensive game. Especially when you consider that you could spend like 20 quid on Orange Box at most, and how much playtime would you get out of that between, the single player of Half-Life 2, Episode 2. And I suspect, I've not played it because I'm a bit slack when it comes to Half-Life games. I need to get my ass in gear and get them done. But I suspect it lasts longer than 6 to 8 hours, and that's not including the couple of hours of Portal, and it's not including the multiplayer side of TF2. and it's 50% off the retail. I mean, I'm not sure how much Orange Box is now for the 360, or for example, I'm not sure how much F.E.A.R 2 is now for the 360, etc. Even though I'm not playing 360 version, I'm just saying. But yeah, that's what I always have gripes with about some review sites: the fact that they don't factor in the price of the game versus how many hours are you going to get out of it. I mean, some do, but I do think that's one of the most important factors. You can talk about the graphics, you can talk about the sound, you can talk about the AI and everything else, stuff like that. It's all well and good, but at the end of the day, is it worth somebody throwing down top whack for 6 to 8 hours? And as much as I love F.E.A.R 2, I would say no. I honestly would. Now, don't get me wrong, I absolutely fucking loved F.E.A.R 2, and I did pay top whack for it, but it was when I was flush at the time, so I didn't even notice the cash. If I'd have been a bit tighter on money, and you know, 30 quid might have eaten a big chunk out of it and stuff like that, I might have been a bit miffed. But at the same time, it's like I said before, it's a weird one. It's a weird one because on the one hand, I mean, I've always liked the F.E.A.R games. I always like a good single player first person game, because it has to be a good single player first person game, otherwise I'm not interested. And F.E.A.R 2 did keep my interest from start to finish. It's not at no point in F.E.A.R 2 that I get bored, even when I'm saying, oh, the story didn't really kick in till about fucking 2/3 of the way through or whatever like that. I still wasn't bored in that initial 2/3. So, it's like I say, it's a weird one. If cash is no object, then F.E.A.R 2 is certainly worth throwing down. Definitely. Especially, I get the strong suspicion that it's dropped in price now. It can't be any more than 25 quid or 20 quid now, surely. Especially if you go to Amazon, or some place like that. I won't go through fucking Steam. Don't even get me started on Steam's fucking ridiculous European prices at the moment. But somewhere actually normal, I bet you could get it for a decent price. So if it was under 20 quid, snag that motherfucker, because it is a belting game. It really is. I mean, you don't need me to tell you. I mean, you can look at it and decide it for yourself, but I really, really, really did enjoy that. Really did. But like I say, if money's a bit tighter, and this is going on like when it was released, if like you say, if it's like, right, I can only buy one game this week, or this couple of weeks, or this month, I'm only allowed one game or whatever like that, can't afford anymore, and he threw down 30 quid for F.E.A.R 2 thinking this is going to be awesome and it's going to be a great multiplayer as well, and you fire it up and have a quick game multiplayer and you go, well no, that's not so great, but hopefully the single player will redeem itself, because that's what these games are mainly about, so I'll horror and shit like that, not really about the multiplayer. And then possibly one sitting later, because you played it on normal, you finished it. You were like, oh, fair enough. So I can see both sides of the fence on this one. I really can. If money was not so abundant, you would be left with a sour taste in your mouth, I think. But if money was no object, or you were just kind of flush at the time like I was, etc., then no, I'm quite happy with that, mate. Quite happy. Especially considering I didn't buy F.E.A.R 1 till a long time after, like fucking budget fucking style. So Monolith has never really got an awful lot of my money, really. Not an awful lot. I've always ended up buying the games fucking yonks afterwards. I bought Shogun. God, that's one for you there. If anybody can fucking remember that. I'm sure some people can remember that, but that's an old one, is that Shogun. That was a good game, was that? Especially multiplayer. Multiplayer on that was fucking wild. Really fucking good. And single player wasn't too bad. It's a very weird one. Blood. A lot of people remember Blood 1 and 2. Monolith have done some good games. Did Monolith do No One Lives Forever as well? I've never got around to playing it. That's another thing. I've never really given Monolith an awful lot of fucking cash. I mean, I bought Blood 1. That was back in fucking shareware days. And I bought Shogun. And I bought F.E.A.R 1 like fucking quite a while after it came out, so that's discount fucking style. I didn't pay an awful lot for it anyway. So I don't so much mind F.E.A.R giving them top whack for F.E.A.R 2, but like I say, it's a weird one. Highly recommended, but I really begrudge recommending F.E.A.R 2 at a £30 price tag. I don't think I could honestly recommend it to someone at £30. I'd say if you didn't want to buy anything else at the time, you wanted a damn fine like